We're live. I'm just going to take us live. I just did it. It was funny. Hi, everyone. We're talking about poor men's toes.
We're just being dipshits. It's,
we're being, yeah, where we should have been live, like, I don't know, 40 minutes ago, but we're not. We didn't. We got excited. I got excited and had to spend a couple of seconds just jumping around the room.
Could have done that on the stream, but you know.
I could have, but
out here.
But then the poor man's toes would have been on screen, and we don't offer that for free here.
No,
We
but also TOS say no poor man toes.
Subscribe, like and subscribe.
No, you won't be poor anymore. Who knows?
Rich man toes.
Rich man toes. Upper middle class man toes.
Upper middle class man toes.
Wow.
Okay. I'm very excited.
Yeah, try to transition the game now. Jesus Lord.
Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck. Shall we? I should have done the intro straight up, and we just go straight into game. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm gonna run an intro. See you in a minute, y'all.
We're sorry, the number you have reached is not in service. Please check the number or try your call again. This is a recording.
We have returned. We have.
Yay.
We do.
Hey.
I was so excited. I was like, what did I do?
Our game master sent us a message that had a list of all of the people that we could talk to, and there's one name on here. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Who do you not? What name is it that you don't know?
Gerard? Who the fuck is Gerard?
Oh,
Jared
yeah,
is,
you're not supposed to.
From Wise backstory. Oh, I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
Oops.
well, you've mentioned Jared before.
Yeah,
The ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. I was like, okay, so you just put this in the middle of all of these, like, all right.
It's like a sleeper name for like a secret. Like if you talk to this random character you don't know.
Yeah, it's like I have the contact.
Everything.
Exactly. Like I have a contact on my phone called Gerard. I don't know who it is, but I'm gonna call that person actually.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it to be someone from like Margot's backstory that just hasn't come up very often.
Or hasn't come up yet.
It's like they're your. What are you
talking about? That's your second cousin twice removed.
We have
saying that I haven't done exactly that on stream.
So many Margot. I don't think there are characters. I mean, there are characters you guys haven't met, but like, I don't think there are more characters in Margot's backstory. The entire goddamn story is Margot's extended family. Like,
it is a lot. It's a big family. Hey.
Related.
Any kind of investigation? Like, are they Arrayas? No. Are they Finley? No. What?
The fuck are you?
What the hell is
two options?
How
are they dead?
Like, dead. No. What? I don't. Huh?
I just have a lot of feelings. You don't even go here.
You don't
even go here. You're in that other campaign.
Melody.
Hey.
That's true.
Wow. Look, rude. Margot, what do you remember?
Come on. Why is it always me?
Because you're the one that speaks the most sassily in the space of time. You call upon yourself. It's not my fault.
I didn't say anything. All right. Last time on when we were doing this.
Yeah.
Danny's really having a dig to remember what the fuck happened last
I'm blaming it on Margot. I'm blaming it on Margot. I'm gonna
Why do you
pretend.
blame it on Margot?
Because she's got memory issues.
She doesn't have memory issues. She had memories taken. There's a difference. Hey. She doesn't have a memory problem.
Stuff can be two things. I would argue that having your memory stolen is a problem, especially when it affects the rest of your life.
Sam, what does Rafe remember?
She doesn't have a memory problem. She has a problem with her memories.
Correct.
It's true. I mean, she's the one. That's her losing them. I can't be blamed for that one.
You're not going to be careful with them.
Exactly. Use it or lose it.
Rafe went to Daybreak to surprise his friends with the fact that he now lives in town, and then was also going to surprise them with I guess the gift of some information that he had set up at this house of his, and was a little taken aback by how big a deal it was. In a kind of like, it's sort of, if you've grown up with a thing being normal, you're just like, yes, it's just the library. What are you talking about? And then you offer it to someone and they're just like, no, that's not, no one else has that. What are you doing? No other family. Like, you didn't wear black helmets to the table? I don't, what? So that was surprising, but also just like, he was essentially offering a gift to his friends, and it turned out to be super effective. So that's always fun.
So like a Pokemon, you reeled them in.
Yeah.
And they were simply Magikarp.
Rafe used library. It was super effective. They then caught up with Alison and Margot. Was able to give a sort of like outsider's perspective to some of the issues that they're handling, which was fun, I guess, to see Alison's reactions to, in that sort of when there's like, oh, I haven't even considered that sort of moments, which can be a big thing when you're the one involved, and so it's like you don't really have a broad picture of what's happening, and so when someone sort of starts laying that out, you're like, oh no.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Why'd you say it?
Oh, it's so expansive, and but they did. But between the three of them, they got a bunch of very interesting information. Some of it concerning. Yeah, most of it concerning.
Some of it concerning.
Some
of it concerning. Some of it being concerning of like what they didn't find, and like why they didn't find it. Like just information about psychics kind of just like cutting off, a while ago, and then like the sort of extrapolating from that being like, we only know very few psychics, and it went from being here's a bunch of information about psychics to nothing to only very minimal psychics, and you're like, that's not great implications. We got a very interesting piece of paper that we could only partially translate. There's a deep concern that Furies might be involved in that if you need to keep something, if the fact that succubi have this like repository of information being a sort of don't ask, don't tell kind of situation, back when people did know about it, the way to sort of stop that from happening would have been to involve Furies. And so there's a slight concern from Rafe that it's not just werewolves protecting psychics, that Furies, just because he doesn't want to deal with Furies, there's like a lifetime of having that drilled into him. He's like, don't do it. And he's like concerned that might be coming to a head. So a lot of like the thing where it's like you got a lot more information, but all that information was partial information. So you still like, I still don't have a clear idea of anything. I have more information, but
It's funny how when it's just one person talking about a thing or learning about a thing, it feels like partial information, but if you all spoke to each other, it might change.
We did.
Y'all, I think we're being hinted at. I think the MC is hinting at us to talk to each other.
No. These characters don't do that.
Was that why we'll give it a list of characters we could talk to?
It could be.
All I was saying is you have options. And for this particular session, and I'm going to try to do it for every session, for this particular session, these are the options. These are the people that are in the world that are available at present.
Easily accessible people.
Hey, great moustache. No. Don't tell my players that. Don't tell my players that.
What are they telling the players?
No. That's unhelpful.
Know.
We're being encouraged to listen to the GM, I think, which is weird.
Oh, weird.
No.
Or not?
You're actually being encouraged not to, and I'm saying ignore.
I think it's facetious though. Like, it sounds sarcastic.
Never listen to stories. Never listen to storyteller hints. Why would you? Yeah, no. I think it's sarcasm. I think Great Moustache is on your side.
Okay, good. Chantal will remember this and add it to existing context that I know of GM.
That sounded like
but actually, yeah. I mean, look, maybe it should.
Cool.
What if I do? What if I do?
On this Twitch stream?
What if? Yeah, look, if I. Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
GM is never sarcastic.
So, I cut you off. I did cut you off.
I think I was about done. Like that was. Okay. I think after that we just had dinner. I don't think they.
Yeah.
We ate gumbo.
Yeah,
gumbo
right.
that had lots of meat in it.
It was that callback.
And all of the things that it was supposed to have in it. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
It was a traditional bowl of gumbo.
Yeah.
It was gumbo. Yes.
Yes.
It was Gumbo Hero. Tell us what you remember.
I leave the chat right now.
Okay, there's some for you too. It's okay.
It's just not gumbo, and that's fine.
No. Oh wait, no shit. I forgot. You're not the pescatarian. God damn it.
I am. I am not good enough at cooking or self-discipline to be a full veggie. So
okay, so you can have seafood gumbo. It's real gumbo. You can have it.
It's real.
I got you.
Gumbo Hero, tell us what you remember now that you've had this primer from.
Who's the Gumbo Hero?
Please, obviously you, Danny, and I think that you should change your handle on all social medias.
To Gumbo Hero?
Just to Gumbo Hero, because I think that this would be excellent.
Gumbo Hero was a weird addition to the Guitar Hero line.
It's like
No, it wasn't.
It was like a Cooking Mama crossover or something.
Yeah.
There was still music. Yeah, it was just Zydeco.
Yeah. It all works. Like you can still play the drums.
I liked the Princess and the Frog expansion pack. That was my favorite.
I've never played Guitar Hero.
No, we don't care. Anyway, so yeah.
What does Margot add
this week? Somehow for Guitar Hero, they still have a marketing budget. God bless them.
God bless them.
And
there's
we all
like
have the guitars.
it's 3 people. They're the only ones that are still on the team because everyone else has been fired because it no longer exists. That company no longer exists.
Yeah.
It's just the marketing so that we remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. So okay, so what does Margot remember? Yeah, we went to Ray's house. We did some research. I feel like I talked about the research that we did last time. No, okay. So I talked about what I wanted to do research on last time.
Yes, you did.
And I actually did
And
the
then you
research
learned
this
it.
time. Yeah. I learned nobody really knows a whole lot of shit about psychics. Not shocking. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows why. My girlfriend and I are not supposed to be together. It just says, haha, don't. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be wild? Wouldn't that be wild?
Wait, do y'all really not know?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay, maybe bring that up with Lai because they know.
Yeah, exactly. That could be a reason why they want the PCs to talk to each other.
Shawnee's like internally.
That's why we're
screaming.
here.
It's been a season. It's been like you know how like Lai found out this information like last season.
Lai has known this like practically in their backstory.
Are you kidding me?
No, very genuinely, Lai has known this, I think, literally since session 1 of season 2.
Margot has been.
It just hasn't come up.
Why?
Because they don't talk. This is why. Do you understand now? Do you understand why I've been like, hey, you should talk.
The source of
Hey, you
so
should
many
talk. You know what?
problems. Y'all should talk.
You know, it would be a very good idea if you talked. I'm gonna just pull out every accent until you talk.
In Soviet Russia.
Lai
They're
has not
talking
been
to-
asked.
I was
Lai
not aware.
doesn't bring things up.
I wasn't aware of this.
No, of course you're not.
And
That's
Margot,
why you.
okay,
If they,
Lai doesn't
as
bring things up, but
friends-
Margot doesn't ask questions. So this is
Well,
like
right,
a
well,
perfect
right.
storm
And so
of.
the thing is, they as friends, much like us in real life, simply all need to sit down and say, this is what's going on with me. Here are the thoughts, concerns, and questions that I have, and I'm just musing with you, my friend. And mayhaps the other person could say, I have insight for you. And what a joy that would be for our characters to simply sit and talk as friends.
I just have to say, I really, really did think this was going to happen. Like, that's why we had that whole time of flashback, because I thought that might happen then. Because you actually did sit down and talk. They sat down and they talked about stuff, and they got close, and then I was like, yes, and then it was like, no, I'm leaving. Okay.
It's been 2 seasons, Johnny.
Yeah.
Your PC NPC is in a relationship with mine, and those two have managed to not talk about all of the important things for all of the times.
3 seasons.
Yeah, at
For
this
3
point,
seasons since they met, to the point where someone had to tell them that their families knew each other.
Yes.
And all kinds of other shit, and also that they had a shared issue of conspicuously missing memories.
And so
They simply had sex instead.
but you know what? Is it worse?
Is that not the tagline for the show?
They simply had sex instead.
They simply Daybreak prep.
They simply
Had sex instead.
And that's why we needed Lai to come in.
That's why Lai came.
As an ace character who is not as interested in the fuck. So that we can figure out what the fuck.
But is interested in what that dick do.
And who among us is not?
Well, you know, yeah, correct.
Who among us does not want to know what that dick do? Any
I
whoozle.
said those words once. And
Yeah, I
ever
love it.
since.
And yet they reverberated.
The echoes.
Yeah, it was the sentence heard around the world. If that is the tagline of, that's the tagline of this group. If the tagline of the game is they simply had sex instead, then the tagline of this group is what that dick do though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of Margot's things is that she is gonna go talk to Lot, but it's mostly because Margot went out of her way to find shit about unicorns and reapers, which she's keeping from her girlfriend, but it is about the thing that Lai is, because Margot thought, hey, that is also a thing, and also that makes Lai a hybrid, which surely is somehow at least tangentially related to what the problem with me and the girl must be. So yeah, Margot did a lot of research. She revealed a new skill to all of us, and she showed us that she could read. And she read a lot, and she learned some things that she wishes to share.
And some other things that she actively decided not to share with her girlfriend.
Which things?
That spot on the back on the
Oh,
back
yeah.
of the lichen. Yeah. She doesn't know
That's
yet.
a mystery mouse control that can help us later.
Yeah. She has put that book away.
Yeah. And Lai, what do you remember?
So Lai had a pretty uneventful day.
Really?
Well,
Really?
yes, but I mean, yeah, they had a wretched conversation with their father in the morning. We're told, that's problematic. I'm gonna go. Which, when the big guy says that, is a horrible, awful, terrible thing.
To be clear, the big guy did say, just keep doing your job.
Well, yeah. However,
However, I am going to do some investigations and see whether or not someone should be alive that isn't, and who might be supposed to be dead that isn't also.
yeah, which,
you know,
is bad.
Little stuff.
As it
Troubling.
turns out.
Yeah.
Troubling. And so that happened, triggering Lai's darkest self, because that's an upsetting thing to hear from one's papa, who is also literally death.
Mhm.
And then Lai simply had to go to work, and did. Went to English class, which they're auditing.
Yeah.
Saw many familiar faces.
All of them
Overheard
horny.
many conversations, and contemplated whether they could be transferred to another class, but ultimately know that in the interest of the mission, they must remain in this one. And that was about Lai's day.
Oh
in
god.
the last section.
Do you ever learn that for the mission you must deal with the shit of that particular concoction of people?
7 horny teenagers and young adults.
My poor sweet lad.
So,
We also, of course, did see the triumphant and sexy return of Brooke Kaufman to the screen.
as there was a slow motion, gentle breast jiggle, and the
Cue
air
Mean Girls walk.
drifted through her hair.
Yeah.
I said cue Mean Girls walk.
Yeah, very like aughts teen high school movie. Hot girl walks into a room.
What are you?
And
Glitter
all of a
is in
sudden,
the air around her somehow.
And everyone has a semi.
Everyone has a semi. We also saw the triumphant return of the Skylar semi, even in Skylar's absence.
Even without Skylar, there was a semi in evidence.
The semi was there.
And Brooke did fuck Melody, but that's neither here nor there.
That's neither here nor
Fuck, I
there.
forgot about that.
Oh, you forgot.
There's consequences.
You can forget.
Yeah.
There's consequences. I wasn't there, so
No, I know. You weren't there. You don't know.
there aren't ramifications for me
Nope.
that I know of.
Yet. Anyway, that's great. So Lai is in the middle of the day. Because you had a free period first, then you had English, and now it's lunch. Do you go hunting for the missing two? Or do you not? What do you do? Did we talk about this?
We did.
like
So
we
I think I'm pretty sure Lai just like ate lunch by themselves in their office. Not really particularly expecting to see the other two anyway. And I think is just like going about their day very much, even though it's only the second day, just like business as usual.
I am going to say that the following combat classes that you have in the afternoon, similar to the bio session that the other two had in the morning, are the calmest, lacking in horny, lacking in feral. Like, they actually care about.
Brooke is in one of them, so there is horny, but not directed towards Lai.
Not directed towards Lai. It is contained horny. Notably, Vasuda and Shakila would not be in a combat class with Brooke. That's not the thing. That's not a thing.
God, no, they. You know what? It's probably forbidden.
They have been. They lived it. They don't need the class.
They don't need a revamp. They don't.
There's the reason that there is. That is the reason there is an option for a combat class. As a matter of fact,
probably part of the reason. That's certainly why they're both in it.
Yes. So we have that. So beyond that, Brooke would be in there. Sarah would be in there trying.
Sarah specifically said last time that she was not taking combat. She laughed at the thought.
She laughed at the thought, yeah. And then she is there. And it's awkward as fuck.
Good.
She is not physically capable. She is not physically coordinated. Like, it's not that she falls over her own feet, but, like, she's good at walking. And she's really dexterous at, like, anything to do with science equipment. But, like, anything to do with holding a weapon, anything to do with, like, actually hitting something, not her. Not like this.
No, that tracks.
Don't let it be like this for Sarah. She does not want that. And it's one of those things where she feels confident in every situation, but she didn't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell she'll commit to the class, but she doesn't want to be there. Why she is there now, you don't know, but she has ended up there. So class is calm for the most part. Is there anything Lai would be trying to learn from this situation?
I really just think
trying to teach.
Yeah, I think at this point in the school year, it's a little bit too early to like really be getting in too much. I think they're like, you know, trying to kind of ease in and like earn the students' trust to a degree. So I don't think they're doing a whole lot. They're just kind of trying to like engage with Brooke and Sarah maybe like a little bit more than the other students, but not in like a conspicuous way. I think it's maybe just like everyone probably gets little critiques on form and things like that, but it's like taking the time to make sure that, you know, they get it right and like taking a little bit longer with them just to start trying to build like I said, trust and some sort of like amount of rapport so that like they can have conversations in future and it's not weird. Which for someone like Lai, who's very awkward, it's important that they try to ease in, I think.
Trying to ease on in. Give me a manipulate roll.
Sure.
Let's see the extent to which Lai is managing to ease into trust.
Charm. That makes sense that would be charm. Okay.
I thought you said harm. I was like, how the fuck did you incur harm?
God, can you imagine? I cry. Oh, hang on. I've lost both my dice.
Oh.
Can I pass? Laughing? Can I just pass on this one?
Do you want to use a luck?
Is a luck like a +1 or does it make it a success?
I believe it makes it a success. Yeah.
Automatically.
How many lucks do I have?
10, I believe.
10?
I think it's 6, dear.
It's 6. Like thank you. Much. Thanks for fixing that for me.
Yeah,
I was trying to mentally remember what the sheet looks like. The top of my head.
Oh God. Here's the thing is that I've rolled a 2.
Well, if you use a luck point, it can be a 10, but it depends on how important it is to you.
That's the question is I don't know how important this is, if it's worth a luck, because I know once you run out of luck, shit hits the fan in big ways. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if this is the time to spend a luck.
Only if you...
Well, I mean, you haven't spent any and we're at like session 7?
This isn't session 7.
No way.
This is session 5. Is it not?
Oh my God, this is session 7.
That can't be right.
Yeah,
try and make those numbers. That can't be right.
If I look at my, I'm just waiting for my thing to load up properly, but apparently didn't. Yeah, I think it's 7.
I mean, you have it as 7 on the Twitch stream.
Yeah, but you can just put whatever number you want to on that. So
I can put whatever number. Let me check. I'm just waiting for
I would
some
just
load
like
up
to
time.
think that.
So prologue, Ep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, all the numbers are correct. In place, we had a prologue, and technically this is episode 8.
What?
Session 8, episode 7.
Correct, because we had a prologue also.
That seems
I don't know what we did with the rest of those, but
like
this is going to be a long season. Strap in.
It is.
y'all.
I have already decided that it is going to be a long season because next week will be the last session of this this half of the season because I will be away, and then we will pick up when I get back.
I'm going to go ahead and use the luck then, since we're at session fucking 7.
Of roughly 14 to 20.
Yeah, I think I'm at peace with using and singular luck for this.
Use and singular luck. Do it.
Again, this could end up being unimportant, but I think that it would be good to have that later potentially. So I am gonna go ahead and use the luck.
I'm
Keep the fucking barrel, baby.
And I think if I can color how the luck works, it's literally just that Lai is still being awkward. But I think the awkwardness makes Sarah feel less uncomfortable because Sarah is blundering. And I think Brooke finds it endearing and unthreatening.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's probably used to, like, most mask people trying to, like, grandstand around her to, like, be impressive and shit. And Lai's just, like, trying to be nice and non-threatening, but is a trained killer, and so it's hard to be non-threatening, as we have learned through the entire second season, and Lai trying to become friends with Allison and Margot.
I am not.
So, what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to ask you to roll turn someone on against Brooke. The reason being, Lai is explicitly someone who deals with death, and Brooke is someone who explicitly deals with death.
Yeah, totally.
One of her moves is, in fact, tell someone about death and have good sex or something like that. So
yeah, that's it. It's a 5. So no, I
doesn't work.
I don't get much from that.
So Brooke's response sounds like it's more like a, we'll see, keep working at it, keep trying.
Yeah, Brooke is definitely not, like, I don't think trying to be into Lai. I think she's addicted to Melody now, so she's preoccupied in her mind for sure.
That's going to make some interesting situations. Should there be
another combat session? Period after lunch. So Brooke has like an afterglow or some shit. Mm-hmm. So she's definitely distracted. So it's been a week for us. Yeah. It's been 20 minutes for Brooke.
Yes. Brooke is basking in the afterglow of face X.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say coochie, but that's just me.
Fei Coochie. Sounds like a brand name.
It also sounds Japanese, but if you spell it wrong, in a like Kakaguchi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Coochie Fei. Sorry, I'm thinking of brand names now. None of those work.
It's Fukuchi, obviously.
Fukuchi.
Mm-hmm.
Fukuchi from Versace.
I hate it here.
No, you don't.
Mom, can you pick me up?
I'm scared.
Do you really want to explain why your mom had to come pick you up?
Mom, can you pick me up? The Fays are fucking the ghouls here.
Can you pick me up from like 2 blocks over? Excuse me, I closed my group chat with my mother. Sorry, Mom, later. So it's a relatively calm day. Brooke. I feel like the groundwork is laid for conversation with Brooke.
Good. Laid.
groundwork is all we need. I think it's good. Good start.
Yeah.
Lie is content with that for sure.
Yeah. What is important also is Brooke is aware who Lie is. And Lie is aware of who Brooke is. But Brooke hasn't said anything about it, knowing who Lie is, in relation, like the fact that they both know Margot. In that respect, but also in respect to both of them having been in the same building, at the very least, at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So that information is intertwined. I'm telling you, Phoebe, because you're both.
It is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I know who you are and I know who you are, but not I know that you know, because they do not know that each other knows necessarily.
Correct. That's that. That's your point of, that's what's going on in my head at all times with every character. Just so you know, that's what's happening.
Joyful.
Yeah, it's fun. You know what, Sam? You're not wrong. So, at the end of the day, what is Lie going to do?
What is Lie going to do? I don't know. I guess probably go home. I think Lie's very much like laying low. So if they're not like explicitly asked to come somewhere or to do something, like I think they're just trying to kind of, again, be very business as usual. So like probably heading home, maybe like shoot off a text to Carmel, see how her day was.
What would such a text comprise of?
I don't know. I think it probably said, how was your day?
Like, would Lie say that as Darkest Self? Just curious.
Oh shit, I forgot.
Hang on, let me reread what my Darkest Self is. I think so, probably. They're not like a Skylar Moore Darkest Self where they become a wretched human being.
That's good, because Darkest Self feels scary.
What do you mean become for Skylar Moore?
Well, okay, too fucking Shay.
Your darkest self, your kindness and patience is a mask. You've denied your true nature far too long. Spend too much time teaching others to not fear death. You've spent too much time teaching others not to fear death, and not enough time teaching them not to fear pain. Is that right? Yes. Twist your
the
words
wording
and
is
teachings.
a little confusing, but yes.
Yeah, I will go ahead and clean it up a little bit. Twist your words and teachings. Remind them how little they matter. You escape your darkest self when someone teaches you of your own value again, or when you convince someone to sacrifice themselves for the greater good.
Hey everyone, why did I write such a bad darkest self?
It's good. The idea, just so you know, and because I've spoken to Sam about this, and I think it's kind of important. The idea to me of having darkest self is that it should ping as a question of, does this fit darkest self every session? That's my view on it. What's the point of having a mechanic if it doesn't come up, if it never comes up? The idea is every session we should have a question of, would this fit darkest self? And if it doesn't, that's why we changed it. Lies one didn't fit at all. I don't mind if it goes back and forth constantly, which Rafe's might at some point might just be like a turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off at all times. And that's fine. But I feel like if we have a mechanic, I want to see it happen.
Right. Yeah, otherwise, totally. What's the point? That makes sense.
Yes.
I don't even know. I don't even know what's happening in the world right now that like Lie would go off of or respond to, honestly. So I think this is not good roleplay, but they would probably just keep to themselves then and not talk to anyone.
I do wonder whether
Carmel's sending memes, and they're all very cute.
They're all very cute. Do any of them have to do with a concern of how is Lai going on the concern that they're going to hurt Carmel? Given Carmel was thinking about the situation as happened.
I think Lai is still in the place of like letting Carmel come to them, because they did the pieces that they could do. In their mind, it doesn't mean they're right, but in their mind, like, they've done the things that they could do. Carmel said, I need to think about it. And so to Lai, it's like, okay, you think about it when you know what you think, like, you know where I am.
Lai said, let's get some of the traditional mask energy up in here.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, Danny, where's Carmel at? Not physically, geographically. I mean,
where you mean emotionally?
In her mind, what's she thinking?
She's confused mostly. Like I think she's conflicted about what Lai has told her, and even more so with how she feels about it. I think on the one hand, it like maybe isn't a big deal or shouldn't be a big deal, but also I don't think that Carmel's romantic history is particularly lengthy at all. In addition to, like, obviously having not had previous sexual encounters, I think that her romantic history is probably quite limited. So it really is a matter of, like, I'm going to not do what everybody else is doing, but sort of like, okay, there is a certain socially acceptable, like, there are bounds within which this is how things are done. Like, you know, there's that sort of thing. There's that sort of, like, navigation. It's, pardon the pun, kind of a fish out of water situation for Carmel, and especially in, you know, the first relationship of this type that she has been in. So she's sending Lai the memes in order to say, I'm still around and I still like you, but is not really engaging because she's kind of trying to, like, parse out, like, and I think that she's working her way up to, like, there'll be, I think the more memes that come through, and honestly, the lack of responses, if Lai is really keeping to themselves, would trouble her more than the thoughts that she's having, more than anything. Like, that's the more time that passes, the more it seems like, well, shit, I didn't play it cool enough, and now, like, maybe Lai's mad at me.
Well, Lai did text Carmel during lunch
to say,
well, we talked about this last session, just that stupid sleeping with the fishes thing. We were like, oh my gosh, and I was like, that if Lai thinks of that is something that they would text Carmel, because, like,
it's funny.
That's just, like, a funny thing that would be a piece of, like, I almost said Earth knowledge. Carmel lives on Earth. A piece of, like,
land
humor that she would not be familiar with, and they would be like, oh, this is a funny connection. Kind of like she sends them, like, her things that she discovers.
But okay, so I guess my question is mostly just that, like, if Lai was not in their dark itself, or they hadn't had that conversation, in either of the two scenarios, because they two affect each other or whatever, would Lai not be texting Carmel more regularly than they are right now?
They might, but it would be, like, one-word responses.
Okay. But even that, like, those are Lai's one-word responses. I think that there's a lot of room for misinterpretation here, is what I am saying. And I'm not saying that it's going to necessarily become a problem, but what I am saying is that there is a little insecurity brewing there because of the conflation of the two things that are currently going on with Lai.
And especially since Lai hasn't spoken to Carmel about the conversation that they had with their dad. So
so they wouldn't know that it's about anything other than Carmel wouldn't know it's about anything other than her.
Just to add to that also, it's one thing to be like, yes, I'm a fish out of water, I don't know what this is how it's done, apparently this is how it's done on land. But at the same time, there's but how do I feel about that? Like, do I like
Exactly.
that? Can we?
That's what
Is
she's
there
dealing
another
with right now.
option?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Cool.
she's parsing through. She's parsing through that right now. But literally, it's only been a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's still trying to figure out whether she got cheated on or not.
Yeah. Or even like whether or not for her that counts as cheating. Like there's a difference between like whether or not it's cheating from one person's perspective and whether it is from another perspective based on how it feels. Like the feeling of cheating doesn't necessarily fit the terminology of cheating.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think Carmel would text Lai probably after they know that school has been let out and say something like, it would be a text message that says something like, so are you and Tallulah like seeing each other? And this would be out of the blue, like literally, like not meme, sleeping with a fish joke, meme. So ...
So many dots.
Send tweet. Next message.
Yeah.
So are you and Tallulah, like, seeing each other? Or ... Question mark.
Send tweet? That's
Send tweet. Send tweet. Yeah, send tweet. Yeah, send text.
Okay.
Send penguin.
Okay. Lai would respond to that one. And they would just respond, no, I told you, we're just friends.
I would get a message back that says, but not just friends. Period. But ... not just friends. Period. And send tweet.
Mm-hmm. IDK friendship can be a lot of things.
Not the same as Margot and Allison are your friends. And then a different text. ... Right?
Carmel's like, are you fucking all these bitches?
Save
me.
Save this poor seal woman.
Text message back. No, full stop. I have not slept with Margot or Allison. Full stop. Nor do I intend to. Full stop.
She sends back, okay. It's the full word okay, not just okay. It's important.
That's important.
It's okay. And then comma, sorry. Okay. There's no period at the end. There's no punctuation. It's okay, comma, sorry. And then another message, like slightly delayed, that would be, yeah, sorry, I was just wondering. Period. No period. There's no periods. To M dash. I didn't mean to imply. I'm not saying it's proper punctuation, but she wouldn't use the periods is the thing. That's very important to say.
Mm-hmm. So, sorry, what is the latest text?
Okay.
I was just wondering, ... I didn't mean to imply.
Yeah.
I'm writing them down.
Yeah.
So I can read it.
Mm-hmm.
Response. Please, comma, you have nothing to apologize for, full stop. I'm sorry that I didn't talk to you about this first, full stop.
May I interrupt and say, is this consistent with Darkest Self?
I don't think that it applies to this situation. Like, I think if they were having this conversation in person, Lai would have tone and intonation that does not that in text is not the same.
Right.
Like, if they were talking in person, Lai would be like angry and annoyed because they do not think this is important.
Yeah, right. I see.
But they're texting. So if this was in person, Lai would be like, I'm sorry I didn't ask you first. But they're not. So Lai can text, sorry I didn't ask you first. And it can read as an apology.
It can read as an apology.
I see.
It is
a good apology or a genuine one.
There's a benefit to the fact that Lai's text messages always come off as a little bit cold because it's not being interpreted as being any different right now.
Correct.
So
right.
this is actually working in Lai's favor.
Yeah. What is Lai's intention in that message? And is Lai lying? I didn't mean to, but I had to separate them out somehow, and I didn't know how. So I leaned into it.
Lai is trying to placate and make the conversation be over, but not destroy the relationship. But it's like, we don't need to be fucking talking about this. So I'm gonna try to say the things I need to say to get this conversation to be over.
Okay. The reason I say that is because
it's not that Lai doesn't care. It's just like, this is not the thing that matters.
No, and it's also that Carmel has a move that could affect that. I think that's why Shawnee's asking.
That's why I was asking, is because Carmel does have a move about it.
She's the flake. She knows when people are lying to her.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Brooke has the same thing. Yeah. Because she's a flake in this system.
Yeah, but of course she is.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Obviously.
They should.
But
do you really want that?
No. Yes.
Oh, I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry, Phoebe. I'm sorry.
No. That's okay. Please don't apologize. If it comes back to me, it comes back to me. If not. Oh, I just think in their mind, they're like, this is not the priority. But also, they have not communicated their priorities to Carmel because they are not a good communicator. And so it's not her fault. But, that doesn't matter to Lai. Because they're in their darkest self. That's just not the thing that they're thinking about or the place that they're in right now.
Hey, MC, I have a question actually about moves. Is there a time when, I mean, this is kind of it's mostly just a matter of your opinion, I think is the only thing that matters because we're playing 2 game systems right now and it's about how they play together. Is there a time where one might choose to not use a move? Which is to say, my Monsterhearts, my emotions about Carmel's emotions about Lai may keep her from wanting to know every single time when Lai is lying to her. She will want to know, I mean, about certain things she would want to know, but in this moment, if she's already feeling insecure, I think there's an argument to be made that she would rather deceive herself than ask that question.
So this is where, yes, it's my opinion, but at the same time, it's a character thing. It's the question. It becomes a question of, does she know, but then choose to do nothing about it?
Yeah.
Is she aware? Because how do you not be aware when someone that you know acts differently? Is she aware and just does nothing about it? She doesn't have to do something about it. Or does she not pick up on it because she's thinking about something completely different or something else?
is she picking up on it but then diluting herself, or like
Or
gaslighting herself essentially to be like, no.
Yeah.
Likely, but it's lightning fast. It's one of those things that I think would be an instinctual thing for her.
Or is it twice as strong?
Is what twice as strong?
Her response and the way that she interprets that response. So, this is a lie. I feel really badly about this. I'm going to misinterpret this much more strongly than I normally would, assume that it's about this other thing, and all of the energy goes into fixing that other thing, which then works in the Flake's favor, because I believe, or in her favor in some way, shape, or form, because I think she gets experience from...
Oh, no, it's absolutely both.
Doing something else, yeah.
To answer your question, it is absolutely both. It is this entire conversation she is interpreting as, oh Lord, Monsterhearts. We found the toxic, y'all. They're the most wholesome of them all. We have found the toxic, y'all.
Yep.
What I think that Carmel is currently doing is she is under the impression, like her vibe is that this entire thing is about her because she has no knowledge, Monster of the Week, that tells her differently. However, as a result, she is taking what Lie says as personal, but not like reading it as though Lie is lying. Basically, Carmel is holding Lie blameless in this situation.
She's putting it on herself.
Correct.
Oofa doofa.
Yep.
Oh, buddies, that's rough.
She has decided that whatever is happening right now is her fault. And she shouldn't have asked, because surely Lie is doing more important things. And this was dumb, and she just needs to catch up. That's why she said, I'm sorry, twice.
So it sounds as though, hey, Lie, it means your darkest self is going to resolve much faster than you think, probably. She'll sacrifice herself for the greater good, though.
But it doesn't matter if Lie doesn't know it.
It's true.
Because
the
wording that I gave myself,
it depends on what she does as well.
Convince someone to sacrifice himself for the greater good.
That is true. You haven't convinced.
Yeah, you really haven't.
Well,
there's not a way that Lie necessarily knows, like,
I mean, but
what's going on. And also to Lie, this is not the greater good.
It's the Lie good.
But I mean, how someone interprets the phrase greater good is not up to Lie. The phrase, it's about whether or not that person is convinced to do something that they perceive is the greater good. It doesn't have to be Lie's greater good, because that's very specific, and you'd be in darkest self forever.
Valid.
Yeah, but also Carmel isn't internalizing that. Like, that's also not part of Carmel's like mindset right now. So I don't think any of that would trigger it. I think she is subconsciously doing this. Like, absolutely.
I'm not saying that that's an immediate right now. What I'm saying is it lays groundwork that potentially would trigger in that direction.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying what I'm thinking, as opposed to saying more than that or less than that.
No, I don't disagree. I agree. I am like agreeing in a tone of voice that can be read as contentious, but I'm agreeing.
Okay. So
agreeing fervently.
Sorry, I didn't ask you first, says Lie in text form.
Yeah, I think Lie said, don't apologize. Sorry.
You have nothing to be sorry for, I believe, you don't have anything to be sorry for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. She says...
And then they said, sorry, I didn't ask you first.
I think there will be a moment, like a beat, and then you'll get back an okay, no punctuation. And then another text message, hey, look at this, and then a different me.
Oof. Okay.
She's like, I'm gonna diffuse. I feel like she feels like she's fucked up.
Lie doesn't look at the meme, but they text back cute.
Oh, what was the meme?
That's the kind of thing that Lie normally would text back, would be like cute or funny or like haha, LOL, a random emoji. So it's in line, but they haven't looked at it to know if it is contextually appropriate.
So here's a question that I have, because actually this is interesting from a me perspective, and I don't know if it's interesting for anyone else, but it's interesting for me. When people send people memes, they are sending something that they think is contextually relevant to the social experience. So in this situation, have all of the memes that Carmel has been sending related in some way to their relationship or the way that Carmel sees the world?
Purposefully only related to the way that Carmel sees the world. I would say that they are very much like imagine if Ariel had her own episode on hoarders and then Ariel holding a dingle humper. Like, it's like she has looked up memes to try and relate to the land. And yeah, like she spends more time looking at memes because they also make Lila. And so she's just sending like random things. Like, LOL, isn't this silly? Like, I think she'd be one of those ones that seems like silly, like cutesy things. You know what I mean? But I think anything that even approaches, anything that looks like something relationship related, I think she probably would have stayed away from today.
And so is that message consistent with the meme?
Which message?
Looks cute.
Just cute. Just the word
cute. Just cute. Just the word cute.
Is it cute? Is the message that's sent to her? Oh, is the meme that's sent cute?
Is the meme is that cute,
or is it something completely different? Like, could it not be cute?
It's cute, but only in a like. I think I think it's the kind of meme where like you could call it cute, but it's more like a naive kind of like meme. It's about I think it's one of those. I'm looking at Little Mermaid memes. I am not gonna lie to you.
I think
it's one of those things where like if you call it cute, it kind of sounds patronizing.
Yeah,
but she'll probably take it.
And I think it's also going to trigger the lie because that's.
Oh yeah, no, she reads that. She's not gonna text back after that. She's like, no, the cute.
That's the end of the conversation.
No, don't worry. That was the last one because the cute, as a one word.
The cute came back too quickly.
It came back too quickly. Yeah, that was. I mean, I picked up on that. You did. Yeah, that one I did not need to be.
I'm glad that one. Yeah, that one.
That was clear.
And I think that there are times like when their relationship is not in a bad spot, where like Lie texts back more than one word. They text back like a related story, or if it's a meme of sea otters, they're like, "Oh, there are otters at the zoo, but I guess you probably have those underwater. Never mind, I won't take you to the zoo. LOL."
Yeah, exactly.
Where like they have a thought that they just have typed out the full thought, and that is in between the one words. So it really just depends on how much attention you get from them, like in that given moment, or how much space they have in their head. But in this case, it's like the text dings in and they type back the word cute. Like they don't look at it.
Yeah, she's not going to say anything. She's not the kind of person that would just text back some dots. So Carmel's not going to say a damn thing after that. But message received. You know what? She's the kind of person that has her red receipts on. It's red. It's from red.
Lie texted back cute and set down their phone and isn't going to look at it for like 6 hours.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Trouble in. I went through so many different words and landed on wet. Why did I land in wet paradise? Why? Trouble in
wet. I mean, yeah. There's a kiddie pool in the living room, so that's fitting, I think.
It's true. True, yeah. Refill, when the two leave your now empty of Gumbo house, what do you do?
Probably looking at that like scrap of paper that they couldn't fully translate, and is trying to like think of the best way to go about getting it translated, and sort of mulling over options.
Are there any moves that you have that you would want to use to be able to do something about that?
Oh, I could, given that this is something. Yeah, I can use Dark Past.
Okay.
I think. Because it's clearly something that they've had some kind of previous experience to help them translate initially. So there is some. So, literally trawling through memories.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be amazingly amused if I roll poorly on this, but never mind. It's an 8.
It's an 8.
I think. Wait, let's double check my weird. No, it's weird is 0, so it's an 8.
Okay.
So I get to ask one of the questions. Okay. Who do I know who can help us right now?
We can't see you right now, Danny, just that you know.
Oh no.
Oh, you're
I'm
back.
sorry.
Hello.
I didn't mean to do that. Bless you.
Thank you.
The way that this text is translated, or the way that this text reads, what you could translate of it suggests that someone you have slept with would probably have answers.
That's such a long list. God damn it.
When you start to think about that incredibly long list, you almost have to actually tell me what Rafe's memory is like for the people that they sleep with. Like, do they remember all the names? Do they remember like all of the quirks, or do they like just have a notebook of like date and time and who was there and where?
I think it's like if you're just like, okay, list it, go. It'd be kind of vague. But it was like when it's like if they see that person, or if they're asked that, like it's like, what do you know about this person? Then their mind kind of is like, here are all your details.
Yeah.
And it kind of just like brings up that file. And so like if they like, run into someone, is always able to give that sort of like, oh my God, they remember me.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of feel, even though it's like they've not thought about that person since at any point. But upon seeing them, it's like, here's enough information. Here's that information, so you can be like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh wow. So has probably literally used it in that capacity. In the
It's
past.
funny because that's my psychologist brain. That's exactly what happens. I will not remember people. I will see them on the street and be like, I have no idea. But then I talk to them and I'm like, oh, yeah, I know everything about you, by the way, also.
Look, there's a not insignificant, like, obviously depending on how things go, but like there is a path in the future where we see like an epilogue and Rafe is like a therapist or a...
Yeah, sex therapist. Why not?
Yeah. you want to have a therapist who can give you like magic gifts at the end of each session?
Oh my goodness. Yes, please. Thank you.
If a therapy session doesn't count as intimacy,
it's true. Oh God, am I a succubus?
succubus fey cross.
Hey now. I resemble that statement. Rude. Okay, so you sort of wander through your mind for a little bit, and then you realize, oh, hang on a second. Let me think about this. Yes, there is someone. A fae. Who it was only the once, and what they wanted was like what the I've forgotten what it's called. What the thing that they wanted to take from you was the ability to stay cool, like keep their calm.
Oh, the gift. Yeah.
The gift they wanted was to keep their cool.
Gift of presence, I guess.
Yeah. But they wanted the gift of presence because they were going to be doing a presentation and knew that the defense was going to be difficult. But the presentation that they were doing was on language, and they are a polyglot in the mundane world that they live in their mundane facade, I suppose. The way that they've got through is, oh yes, I work with languages and the history of languages, and so it doesn't matter how old I am. Yes, I'm just I am my grandparents and my grandparents' grandparents.
I am a polyglot, like my parents before me.
Yes, exactly. And so that would be someone to contact. As for a name, fuck if I know. Well, that's somewhere in the book. You got to check that one.
Yeah. He might, sort of hit this person up, but in like a like friendly, but also like this is kind of professional. It's not like it is sort of it's like doesn't try and like give it like a booty call pretense or something. It's just like, hey, you have this thing that might be of interest. I've got an interesting bit of translation, and I thought, who enjoys interesting translation, kind of thing. So sort of send, in whatever form of contact, like if they've numbered us in a text, if they haven't emailed us in an email.
So so what I would say is an email probably would be better because they're in a geographically different location. They're over in Europe.
Yeah.
What would the email say? Name Donald. Don. Known as Don in this particular era.
Sends an email with maybe a scan of the paper. And was like something like was trying to translate this, was only able to get partway through, but reminded me of you, and I was wondering if you had some insight. Hope you're doing well, kind of thing.
Sorry, I'm just making a note. And you sign off with your full name?
Probably just Rafe.
Okay. Friendly.
I'm assuming we left on pretty good terms.
Okay.
Given that this wasn't like some grand manipulation on it from either of us. We kind of just sort of like had a mutually beneficial encounter.
Yeah. Okay. What was the intimate act that happened? What was the intimacy?
I think this one was like intellectual intimacy. So they had this sort of this sharing of ideas. And kind of were quite, I guess, open with each other. You know, Donald had this event they were going to and had concerns about that, and Rafe talked about what they were sort of up to at that point in their life.
How long ago was it?
I think this would be a few years. So Rafe was probably there on like vacation or something. But was still, in terms of his life as a succubi, it's still kind of like kind of early on. So it might have been like an initial discussion. There could have been like an early talk of like what that means going forward, which upon reflection to where Rafe is now is kind of like, if he had a bit more self-reflection, that might have been like an early tell of like, I should have done this ages ago. I should have done what I'm doing now ages ago. And that conversation could have been a trigger, but wasn't.
Yeah.
But now looking back, it was like, it's kind of like, oh, right, I'm an idiot kind of moment. It's like, it was always there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's an intellectual one that got away.
Yeah, like it was quite a frank discussion, with hence the ability to provide,
be able to reach out. Yeah,
and at the end of it.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to get two things over this period of time. The first thing is you send off that email, and then you get a text message back. Not from Don. You get a message from a number that you don't have in your phone that just says, I noticed you were on campus. The secretary signed them in.
I know, I'm joking.
We're just trying to go for round two.
She said what she said. I noticed you were on campus because we spoke this morning.
Yeah. He's still around.
Rafe has that number.
Yeah, Rafe has that number. Rafe knows what that number is.
They needed to save it because the deal was, I'll contact you later for the hookup. Like,
yeah.
So that's
a
there's probably like, is that? Wait, no, I have that number.
You know what? Brooke wasn't the only one who fucked for the cause, is what I'm
That's
realizing in this moment. Rafe
right.
also is a real one for that,
Yeah.
in many ways, and we do have to like.
We do stand.
I just want to
We
give
stand.
them that airtime for a moment. Thank you, Rafe.
Yeah, Yeah,
Get you friends who will suck and fuck for the cause.
That's right.
You know,
I thought of like I have a limited toolbox of ways that I can help, and I'm gonna use all of them.
Brooke also. I feel like Brooke and Rafe could have been friends if things had
They
gone
could have been
differently.
Oh,
There's still time.
very much. There's still time.
There is
If-
still time.
Oh, they're like, oh, their interaction would be pretty cold at the moment, at least from Rave. But it was definitely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Rafe.
I mean, but after what happened to his sister, that makes sense to me.
Oh yeah, there was the Rita thing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Everyone got really hung up on the Rena thing, which to Brooke was just not that big of a deal.
It's part of the
Like-
problem.
Like, no. If I could defend my girl Brooke for just one moment.
You may.
Okay, go for it.
Yes, she thought about killing her. However,
Mhm.
very
going.
much in the way that, like, everyone knew that girl in high school who was too into her boyfriend and would go psycho if he talked to another girl.
Yeah.
It was more in that way, in like where her headspace was, than let's kill Juan to take over his spot in KF, which was like not her total idea, but like less Brooke being homicidal out of like a desire for power or bloodshed or malice, and more like, you fucked with my man, so you gotta go. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming from different places within her,
Phoebe.
and it was
The
coming
outcome
from
is the same,
the more
doll, though.
human place. Right, but in terms of intention,
I'm gonna
it came
say
from the more human place.
I'm
as
gonna say
opposed
you had
to
me in the first
more
half.
scary place.
Yeah.
You had me in the first half. I'm
That
not gonna lie.
helped.
I would have.
To me that makes a difference of where, like, what part of her it came from, and
It
like
is-
what her
So, but for Rafe, it was like,
motivation.
hey, heads up, this asshole is cheating on both of you. And your response was, I'm gonna consider killing your sister.
I'm gonna kill that bitch.
Not the asshole cheating on you. The person who had no
It's
idea.
very The Boy Is Mine. Early
Yeah,
like
what
2000.
do high school girls do?
Yeah.
Like, Brooke is being a high school girl.
Yes.
In that one instance, that is
Yeah.
very much Brooke doing a thing that a lot of other high school girls do,
Except
whereas a lot of her other bullshit is not.
Except the
but in
ability
that
to follow through is
the ability to that one is the problem.
I've had my life threatened, mind you, but wasn't really my life so much as like it's been threatened, like I will kick your ass, like I will cut you up in little pieces and like no one will ever see you again, like
and
Right, but
have sex in your
that's not
entrails. Like that's not.
But that wasn't the type of threat that Brooke was making.
it's true.
Brooke was not making I'm gonna fuck on your corpse. She was making like I'm going to fuck you up, and because she had newfound power, that could mean killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that bit, but I feel like she didn't necessarily.
that
actively made
does
his sister
matter.
fear for her life.
To me.
She actively feared for her life, and that's the reason Rafe has a problem.
Sure, that's valid. Brooke thinks that Rena overreacted as well.
I mean, arguably,
makes
it doesn't
sense.
matter because they work in the same place now, right? Don't they?
They sure do. They're co-workers now.
They're co-workers.
Are
so
they
it doesn't matter.
friends? I want that
no.
scene.
No, no, no.
So it's more of like a buddy cop, like Odd Couple. They're opposites made to work together.
Yeah. So I'll stay over here, you stay over there. Everything is fine. Situation.
Exactly.
But you receive that message. What do you do?
It's essentially like a degree of like, who is this?
Mm-hmm.
Your phone, who this?
I'm just trying to think how to word it, because it wouldn't be like, the fuck is this? It's like kind of playful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I get to put a name to this observer kind of thing? smiley face kind of thing.
You made me a promise and I want to call it in.
Save contact Ren. Kind of like like again, like just like written down, like when and where?
Today? Tomorrow?
Those are 2 whens.
Tomorrow?
Daybreak? Question mark.
Yes.
See you then.
At the school. She's clarifying. Daybreak. At the school. It's an early morning appointment.
Yeah, it's like, so at daybreak before the start of school.
At daybreak. At daybreak.
Oh, fun.
That's what she's saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Add to calendar.
Cool. And then you get that email back because we're in the eastern US and the time difference isn't far enough away that Don would be sleeping. So.
Dun.
I'm sorry? Dun.
Nothing. I didn't. I was being silly. And, I'm sorry. Sometimes I just say things, guys. I'm sorry.
Welcome to ADHD, the musical. The message comes back, Rafe, it's been a while, ! I still think of our time in the Alps. How are you finding succubus life now? And then below that, a message that says, this is an interesting one, and I am going to need a book that is not in my possession to translate this for you. Is that okay?
Sends back like doing well. Had some personal revelations recently, which on reflection I should have had from our conversation. But doing well because of it. It's totally fine. I'm totally fine. Was the suggestion that I would need to provide said book, or?
It's more an indication of the need to go outside of the self. It's not something that he can translate himself immediately. It's something that he's going to have to. It's not that other people are going to have to know about the contents, but that the language that's used might raise an eyebrow.
Sure, that's fine. Mm-hmm. And then also asks how things went after the event that they had, but also like how and how are things going now, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Leave that one with me because I think there's a larger email that Don would be replying with. And I want to do John justice, you know. So we'll come back to that. Margot.
Hello.
Hi.
So,
You and Allison didn't go straight home.
Nope.
Where'd you go?
We went up to the lookout. Sort of like there's a hill. Every small town has a, especially every small town in RPG has a makeout hill.
There's a makeout hill. There are low walls. There are.
That's not why they were going. No, there are only low railings at the lookout. It's an overlook that looks kind of down on the city or whatever. And they weren't going there to make out. They don't have to do that anymore. But they went there to talk because Allison didn't want to go home. So, yeah. And Margot completely understood that. Yeah. So she's actually feeling very full and very calm. So she acquiesced to that and took her up there so they could sort of like chill out without having to deal with the parents immediately after all that they've just learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that Margot is trying to communicate to Allison?
I think that while Margot has her own thoughts on her mind, a lot of what she's trying to communicate to Allison would be like her trying to diffuse what seems like is bubbling up in Allison right now. So a lot of what Margot is trying to communicate to Allison is like calm, like it's gonna be okay, and like she's in like a weird position where like she can actually do that. Like she's actually doing a good job of like separating their emotions for once. Yeah. And she realizes it like while they're on that drive, and so she's just like she's doing an active listening thing, which I know is a little out of character for Margot, but you know what we call that? So really what she's trying to convey to Margot, to Allison is calm, and like there's stuff that she would like to talk about, yes. Stuff that she would be talking about if she was in her space of like being in her own, if she felt like this was the moment for her to like engage like the thoughts that the stuff that's like bothering her, like the stuff that she's been thinking about, she would, but she's kind of letting Allison's feelings take the driver's seat at the moment.
While she takes the car's
actual driver's seat. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's the same thing as what happened when she got her letter from Noah. Like, Allison came home from a fight with her mom, and like her and Margot had to talk about how they left things like when she left the house like a couple of hours ago, and they had to talk about the mom, and she kind of just put the letter and the Game Boy down and like decided she was going to write it later, because that's her job. Her job is to regulate, and she can't do it. She feels like she can't do it all the time, so when she can do it, it's like, okay, well, this is important. I'm going to do this. I'll do this, my thing, later.
Could you roll to keep your cool? And I'm not, that's not, there aren't going to be necessarily negative consequences to a failure here. I'm just curious as to how well Margot is doing what she is trying to do.
Pretty damn well. She does have a 0 cool still, but it's still a 10.
She gets a, and she also gets a +1 because she's,
it's an 11. I'm sorry. That's a 12. Okay.
Okay. A 12.
It's 12. Okay. She's doing great.
She's doing really well. She's keeping it together. Good job, Margot.
Concealing, not feeling.
Concealing, not feeling. What I'm going to say is that for the next period of time, Allison has a +1 to keeping her cool.
Nice. I will say that she will try to like when it's appropriate to the conversation, pepper in some of the stuff that they might have sort of touched on when they were in, but we talked about that last session. So like the stuff that she would have tried to remind Allison of, because Allison is kind of spinning out.
Like what?
Things like, yeah, nobody knows about psychics, but that's because they weren't specifically, this library is a library by succubi, written by succubi about people that succubi fuck. So wouldn't be anything in there from people that succubi weren't fucking. It's not a comprehensive, it's not the library, and there are other places to get knowledge from. She will remind her of the stuff, she's my grandma sent, my mom and my grandma sent that stuff, and my mom's trying to find stuff right now, and if anybody's got more information about psychics and stuff like that, it would probably be us. I mean, if you guys are spread all around, it would be, I mean, the Reyes might be spread all around, but that's because there's a fuck ton of us. We're everywhere, hiding in plain sight. So it's not it's not out there, and you're not too late. So,
That's true. That's true.
Sure, I guess you're still probably gonna beat yourself up about it, though. Give you another 20 minutes, maybe.
It is hard because I expected that. I don't know. I didn't even know to ask.
I mean, you're asking a lot of 14-year-old Allison Finley, on top of school and not being sure if her mom's her mom, and if there were, I don't know, I feel like if I were blaming myself like this, you'd probably tell me, you would probably point out to me that it was my parents' job to be my parents, and the stuff that I don't know is I mean, even if your dad felt like he couldn't tell you because of your abilities and stuff like that, if he really wants to, he could have found a way. Especially if he's not human. You don't know. I mean, he's your dad. He's not he's not a weakling. He's not. He could have. I don't know. He could have. He could have done more if he wanted to. He was the adult. He knew more. And if he knew more than he was letting on, then that's not on you. Because he definitely didn't tell you that. There was nothing in your life that was telling you that you should ask questions. Not like me. I probably should have asked more questions, but I didn't know that there were questions to ask for a really long time. And even I managed to blame my parents for that. So I think you can stand to maybe let them have a little bit more of the responsibility for that. He can grieve and be a dad at the same time.
Yeah. Because if nothing else, he knew.
Exactly.
What he married into.
If he wanted you to see your grandparents and to be able to see your grandparents, and if your grandparents had anything important to tell you that they could only tell you when Jazz wasn't there, especially if your grandparents live in New Zealand, which is just far enough away that it wouldn't matter, then he would have fucking done something. Or he could have. So there's no world in which that is not on you. You didn't have to try harder as a 9-year-old to go on vacation with your dad to see your grandparents. This bullshit. You don't get to decide. You're 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
And hey, if you want to call your dad and give him a piece of your mind, I'm sure he gets it.
I'm sure he would.
He's probably waiting for it. at this point. Since he fucked off to do God knows what now.
As far as I know, just I don't know what he's doing. I just know that he's...
Sure, it's not marine biology. He's in Egypt.
Yeah, I don't think
Doesn't make sense, does
it's
it?
too far inland. You're not gonna do that.
Yeah, it's not really a whole lot of marine biology going on in Egypt.
I genuinely don't think my dad's a marine biologist now.
It's suspicious, yeah.
Kind of suspicious.
Yeah.
Why does my whole family have to be so fucking suspicious?
Because your whole family can read minds and shit. I don't know. Man.
Oh God.
You know more than everybody, so you gotta work harder to hide things than everybody. Told you, super spy. It's just a side effect.
Yay. Eventually, I am gonna have to go home.
You have to if you don't want to.
I don't think we can sleep out here.
You've slept out here before.
We have slept out here before. And we will again. Probably.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, there's no reason. I mean, there's no reason to now, but like, I mean, it's whatever. Like,
there's no real reason, but there's no real reason not to.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So, like I said, you do not have to go home if you don't want to. Just saying.
I feel bad for my mom in that house.
It's a big house. Being by yourself.
I know what it feels like.
It's not your job to protect her.
No. It's not, but it also is not. It's not fair.
Can't think anything about this shit that's fair.
I don't know if this shit's fair, but it's not.
I mean, what part of I have to do with being the regular shit? I have to deal with all the regular shit and all the regular parent shit. And then also on top of it, I have to deal with magical shit. I mean, look at Lai. Lai's like spending all this time. Lai's dad came to like interview us today, and Lai is dealing with some shit with their dad, but their dad is also deaf. These are. I mean, it's a big idea. That shit's not fair. You shouldn't have to do both.
Oh my God. If Lai died, do you think his dad would be the one who...
I mean, if anybody had to kill me, I don't know whether my parents would be the best people or the worst.
Yeah.
Like, also, I wouldn't want to see it coming.
Mm-mm.
I can't. I don't.
No.
I can't.
I wouldn't want that. How do you handle having your dad be deaf and like every time you say, "Are you here for me?" or "Are you here for like a chat?" Like what? How does that work?
No, I don't. I genuinely don't think Lai thinks like that. I think Lai's pretty chill about that part of it because they've been doing it the whole time. Like, also, if you could teleport, you know, you can just leave. You know, if you're suspicious of your dad or whatever, you think something's going on, you can just.
But just run away from death.
I mean, you don't have to run, do you? You just kind of smoke away, like, you know,
smoke your way through the world. Just keep running. But isn't that... Wouldn't their dad be able to get ahead of them?
Not necessarily. Not if they don't know where they're going. He's deaf. He's not a mind reader. That's you.
I'm not a mind reader.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. But yeah.
He doesn't know what Lie's thinking. If he did, he wouldn't have come to my house this morning looking for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
Nobody knows what anybody's thinking anymore. Like, that's... Unless you got, some other relatives I don't know about.
I don't know whether to hope I do or hope I don't at this point, honestly. So,
Whoever they are, I just hope they don't have anything to do with all of this. How about that?
Mm-hmm. I think... And Lie, Rafe, Margot, and Allison.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking if there are any other characters that you control that would get... Carmel would also be in on what I'm about to say, and I think that's it. All get a message simultaneously. The message is from Jay. It's from Jay. Jay?
Sorry, from who?
Jay.
Is it group chat, or is it everyone simultaneously receives the same individual message from Jay?
Everyone simultaneously receives the same message from Jay.
Okay.
The message just says... Noelle would receive the same message as well, but we're going to take a break and I'll come back to that in a second. Everyone's going to receive the same message, and the message says, house meeting. Raya's house.
Margot goes, when?
Now. Sorry, that would be in the original. House meeting, now.
Okay.
Lie, huffs a big sigh, stands up from the couch, puts their hair in a ponytail, and teleports. Typically, they teleport to 10 to 15 yards away from the house, and then they walk up and knock just to be polite, because it's very alarming to just teleport into someone's house.
Yeah.
But this time they just teleport into the foyer.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay, cool.
Margot's gonna be like, you don't have to go to your house, but I think we gotta go home.
Yeah.
And you got it too?
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Exactly.
Yup.
Thank you for understanding. Yeah.
So they both got that message. Allison also got that message.
Well, Margot doesn't know that. She's... What, you got it too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is it not like a group chat thing, or it's like that's a lot?
No. This
No,
is
wrong
everyone.
era. Couldn't have happened.
No.
Everyone receives a separate
You're right.
message.
MMS.
You're right.
Everyone individually gets one.
Yeah. And with the same information, you will know it's from Jay, but it is separate.
Jay copy pasted it that many times.
Basically.
Very diligent.
What are you on? Yeah.
So we should go to our break because, again,
Yeah,
the dog is
actually.
trying to eat me. And also, I don't think we're going to figure out what this meeting's about until we get back.
No,
So
and we were about to take a break anyway, so it's great
Shani's
because
not
it's
gonna
time.
tell us. I didn't want. Yeah, I don't. It's like Shani's not going to tell us, so I want to go. I want to go away.
No, we're gonna go away. We'll be back. Yay.
Yay.